T is for Titanic, another alphabet book. Written by Debbie and Michael Shoulders, illustrated by Gijsbert von Frankenhuyzen. A is for Anatomy of Titanic. The RMS Titanic included 10 decks in all. It was the world's largest moving object at 175 feet. B is for the bridge. The Titanic had a bridge. The steering was done here. It sat upon the boat deck where the captain's view was clear. C is for children. Children crossed the Atlantic with dreams all of their own, a new life in America, new friends, and a new home. D is for dogs sailing on the Titanic. With the captain and his crew, there are 1,300 passengers, along with 10 dogs now, too. E is for elevators. Walking up 10 flights of stairs can be quite a trek. Elevators carried passengers as they traveled from deck to deck. F is for first class. First class passengers on board had a lot of things to do. Heated pool, a gymnasium, and even a library or two. G is for the grand staircase. Titanic's elegance and beauty shined in the grand staircase. A dome of glass and a cherub with flame created a beautiful space. H. H is for Harland and Wolff. Shipbuilders Harland and Wolff constructed colossal ships to provide luxurious sailing on transatlantic trips. I is for iceberg. Late in the evening, as the Titanic sailed due west, the lookout shouted, "Icebergs right ahead!" from atop the tall crow's nest. J is for J. Bruce Ismay. The White Star Line built Titanic. Its leader was named Ismay. He was on the maiden voyage as the dream ship sailed away. K is for Kodak camera. Recording historic moments on the ship's first journey was a Kodak camera. It made pictures for all to see. L is for lifeboats and lifebelts. Passengers may use these as a safe way to float. If there's trouble while at sea, find lifeboats and lifeboats. M is for Marconi. From the Marconi room, the signal was wireless, coded tapped to other ships to announce their distress. Marconi, or used Morse code, which was a series of taps. SOS is 3 quick taps for S, 3 longer taps for O, and 3 short taps again for S. N is for Navarrete. Rescued in a lifeboat were 2 French boys saved with help from father. It brought mother tears of joy. O is for Olympic. The Olympic was a sister ship in the White Star Line, along with the Britannia. She'd make their company shine. P is for the post office and postal workers. A sailing post office on a very large ship. This ship carried nearly 7 million pieces of mail. Q is for Queenstown. Titanic sailed from England, then a port of call in France. Her last stop was Queenstown before Atlantic's vast expanse. R is for rescue. As the Titanic went down away from view, the nearby Carpathia helped in the rescue. S is for Captain Smith. In the darkest hour, when Captain Smith feared the worst, he ordered women and children be put in lifeboats first. T is for Titanic. The RMS Titanic in its day was a ship of luxury. The events of April 1912 made naval history. Also set the standards for safety because there weren't enough lifeboats on board. And now every ship and plane And vehicles like trains and that have to have enough safety equipment on board. U is for the U.S. inquiry. For 3 weeks, officials met a U.S. inquiry finding ways for safety travel aboarding sailing ships at sea. V is for violinist. When Titanic was in danger, the violinists began to play cheerful tunes like ragtime to keep passengers' fear at bay. W is for watertight doors. In case of flooding, Titanic's crew could close special doors, thus preventing seawater from spreading to other floors. X marks the spot where Titanic sank, and X is where Titanic was lost, and many sorrows remain, not until much later would Titanic be seen again. And Dr. Ballard and his special submersible ships found it many years later. Y. Y is for the years 1912 and 2012. The year 1912, the Titanic was lost. Only a third would survive. Telling their stories honors them and keeps their memories alive. A couple of the infants that were on the Titanic in 1912 lived for nearly 100 years. They've all since passed away because now it's 2023. But many of them could still live to tell their tales for a long time. Z. Z is for Zimmerman. Leo Z traveled third class, befriending cooks and shoemakers, playing cards with scholars, while dining with miners and bakers. Today, there are several places that have a Titanic museum, and you can walk through and get a card with a passenger's name and see whether you survived or not, and see many things from the trip because they've been brought up after all these years. It's kind of interesting. T is for Titanic.